I'm Dale Smith for Looney Politics, and the Liberals are asking for Parliament to raise the federal debt ceiling to $1.83 trillion. The problem here is that we aren't supposed to have a debt ceiling in our parliamentary system. This goes back to 2007 when the Stephen Harper government snuck a line in an omnibus budget bill that took away the borrowing powers from Parliament and gave it to Cabinet alone. This is a major abrogation of the kind of system that we have in place that goes back to essentially the Magna Carta, but in practice to about 1688, where Parliament was able to control both borrowing and spending. Now, for most of Canada's history, this was part of discussions around supply and estimates. Borrowing was always part of that and was voted on by Parliament along with the other spending that governments undertook. This allowed Parliament to maintain its traditional control over things like taxation and expenditures, which is a hallmark of our parliamentary system. Now, when the Liberals were running in 2015 to form government, they had promised to restore this borrowing authority to Parliament. There had been previous Senate bills where they were trying to undo this change that the Harper government had made, and Justin Trudeau had decided, yes, this is something that was important, and he was going to restore that borrowing authority. Problem is that he didn't. In 2017, the budget implementation bill created the debt ceiling instead, and it was $1.163 trillion, I believe, thereabouts, and essentially it stipulated that if the federal debt was to exceed that, then they would have to go back to Parliament, as well as they would only report on the borrowing every 3 years. So this was essentially a promise that they had weaseled out of. And now it's coming back at them with all of the pandemic spending. They need to raise this debt ceiling. It's one of these things that never should have happened in the first place. Instead, this should be something that is restored to the House of Commons and Parliament to have a vote on government debt and borrowing as part of the regular supply cycle. This is a problem of the government's own making and should be restored to Parliament. For Looney Politics, I'm Dale Smith.